In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my first month on Airbnb. I just completed my first full month, and I want to share with you the statistics and the insights that I have for how much money I earned, how many nights I had booked out, what my nightly price was, how much future business I booked into forward months. So in this video, we're going to be breaking all of that down because, like me, some of you might be considering buying your first Airbnb or doing what I did, which is transitioning from a long-term rental into a short-term rental. Now, the good thing is I think this is a great litmus test as to whether or not you should still be interested in Airbnb. We're hearing an awful lot about the Airbnb bust and how the market's going to crap and how Airbnb is failing. So did I make money or did I not? Now, for those of you interested in seeing a walkthrough of the unit next door, I have other videos. I'll put the links for those down below. But in this video, we're just going to talk about the nuts and bolts and the cash flow, as my shirt says, the cash flow aspect of owning my Airbnb for the first month. So why don't we jump right in and start taking a look? So this property was listed like September 30th. I didn't have any ability for people to pre-book days in October. It was essentially listed October 1st, so all the business that I got was mostly last minute business. But we're gonna take a look at the numbers and how much money I've actually made. So in the month of October, starting out, I made $2,839, $2,840. Now for reference, this was a long-term rental, and my long-term rental was making $2,150 a month. Now I said to myself, all right, I can raise the rent. I could probably take it from $2,150 to $2,400, maybe even $2,500. But then you have to also consider, when there's a long-term tenant over there, they're paying the light bill, they're paying the water bill, they're paying the internet bill. All of those expenses are now transitioned onto me. So my break-even point is about $3,000 a month. And I wouldn't even consider it profitable and worth my time unless I'm making $3,500 a month. Now, as I show you right here, I made $2,839 my first month. I'm actually happy with this because, again, there was no opportunity for people to book out days in October in advance. So most of the business I got was last minute. On top of that, I had no reviews. I'm not a super host. People are looking at my property and they're unsure if I'm actually worth the price they're going to pay. So the fact that I made $2,840 in my first month, I'm pretty happy with that. And as you can see, if we take a look here, it's November 1st right now, but I actually have future business booked out for the month of November. I already have $890 booked out this month. And in the month of December, I already have $1,700 booked out. So being able to have $1,000 or nearly $2,000 of business booked out in advance so that as I actually come up to that month and supplement that advanced income with last minute bookings, I think it's going to be much easier for me to make my goal. The only downside is that I'm doing my test run in the months of October, November, and December, which are heavy travel and vacation months because of the holidays. Who knows where I'm going to be in January, February, but I guess we'll see. Now on Airbnb's website, I'm going to go ahead and just choose the month of October so that it breaks down all the stats specific to just this month. Now we can take a look here. How many nights did I book out in the month of October? 21. How many nights did I have unbooked? 12. My total occupancy rate was 64%, and my nightly price ranged anywhere from $89 a night to $159 a night. Now, why don't we talk about the nightly price? How is that getting set? Well, Airbnb has a smart pricing AI tool that will help adjust your price depending on what day of the week and what the current prices are in the area. On top of that, my prices were artificially depressed because Airbnb recommends that you give some 10 to 20% off discounts for your first few bookings to start generating business. So I actually made less money than I would have if this had all been booked at a higher nightly rate, obviously. But the reason that I have that lower nightly rate is because I'm trying to generate business. Now we're going to see if I can not drop the prices as much and still make money. Now here's an interesting thing. Cleaning fees. Some people might be saying, well, are you counting the cleaning fees in your income? Well, for me, I am. And the reason that I am is because I'm the one doing the cleaning. I'm not hiring a cleaner to go over there. Now, I will probably hire a cleaner in the future if this thing can start to generate enough business successfully that I don't want to waste my time cleaning it. I'll admit, I'm not a huge fan of going over there and changing the sheets and doing the dishes and sweeping and mopping and cleaning the bathrooms. You know, I don't know how many total bookings I had in this month. I think 7 or 8. It's not fun to have to go over there and turn that unit all the time, make sure I'm off work in time and getting it done. It's a pain in the neck. So I want to hire a cleaner, but I'm not going to give the $355 here away until I'm absolutely sure that I can make it work. On top of that, I'm only charging $40 a night for a cleaning fee. If I wanted to get a maid out here to turn this unit, that's like $90 to $100 for them to come out here and actually clean this thing. The insane cleaning fees is one of the things that's making Airbnb struggle when competing with a hotel. If you're like me and you've stayed at Airbnbs, what I used to love about an Airbnb was that it was actually comparable in price to a hotel, oftentimes better priced than a hotel, and you got kitchen, you got more parking, you had more space. There were so many benefits to it. But as the fees on Airbnb and the cleaning fees have just gone through the roof, it's to the point where if I'm going to do a 1 to 2 night stay, why would I stay at an Airbnb? It's so much more expensive. Now, for people who are still staying 3 days plus and they want a kitchen so they can actually cook for themselves and have a little more space to, relax, makes sense. But I still want to stay competitive with hotels because I want to make money. Alrighty, let's look at a few different metrics. So for the last 30 days, the whole month of October, I had 408 views on my listing. I had 12 total bookings for a booking rate of 2.9%. Now, I'm not sure if this is a good booking rate or a bad booking rate. The only frame of reference that I have is a friend of mine named John, who I chat with on Facebook, who's also doing an Airbnb at a similar price point in California, and he and I have gone back and forth, and we have almost the same number of monthly views with the same number of bookings with a similar booking rate. So at least I know that he and I are similar, but I'm not sure yet if this is good, bad, average, or what have you. I still need to do more research here and see what I can improve. Now, I think it's important to look at reviews. I have 7 total reviews of my property. Every single one of them was a 5-star review, except I got 1 4-star review. So my overall rating is a 4.86. In order to qualify to be a superhost, you have to have a rating of a 4.8 or higher. So Airbnb does break down their rating system based on different things. So the first thing is check-in, cleanliness, accuracy, communication, location, value. And as I scroll through my ratings right here, you can see Matthew gave me a 5-star, Haley gave me a 5-star, Ken gave me a 4-star, Taryn and Rhett 5, Sharanity 5, Justin 5, and Eli 5. A few people who stayed with me didn't leave reviews, but most people did, and most people were thrilled. I worked as hard as I could to get people early check-ins, late checkouts, and anything that they needed to make sure that their stay was good, and I was extremely responsive. I responded to my text right away to make sure that people get their questions answered. And people appreciated that and told me before they even left they were going to leave me a great review. So my goal is to make Superhost status. Let's talk about that next. So as you can see right here, every 3 months they check to see if you've met the Superhost criteria for the past year. And if you do, you'll become a Superhost. Becoming a Superhost is really important because it's a check that a lot of people use to make sure that the Airbnb that they're moving into or that they're going to rent from is actually a good product, actually a good property. Now, as I mentioned here, it's a time frame thing. Every 3 months they're going to check. They won't check for their next Superhost qualifications until January of 2024. However, let's talk about the different criteria you need to actually become a Superhost. So when it comes down to the criteria, you need to have 10 completed stays or 100 nights over 3+ stays. I haven't met that criteria yet, but I'm getting close, and that's just a factor of me not being on the platform long enough. As more people stay with me, that rating and that number is going to go up. Next, you need to have an overall rating of 4.8 stars or higher. I've already met that, as you can see right here. Next, you have to have a response rate of 90% or higher, which of course I'm responding to every single person who sends me an inquiry or sends me a message. I don't ignore anybody, so met that one as well. And lastly, you have to have a 0% cancellation rate, and that means that you as the host can't cancel on potential guests. Guests can cancel on you. That doesn't affect your rate at all. I've had one person cancel already, and as you can see right here, it says 0% cancellation rate. So 3 out of 4, I've already met the criteria, and I'm well on my way to making sure that I meet the rest of the criteria to become a Superhost by their next assessment period, January 1st. I'll be very curious to see how becoming a Superhost affects my ability to get bookings and how much money that I can charge for the nightly stay. All right, speaking of nightly stay, let's take a look at the calendar. Now, there's a bunch of interesting AI tools like Price Labs out there that aren't used by Airbnb that you can use to set prices for your area to make sure you're getting the maximum amount of money. I haven't used that yet. I haven't signed up for it yet. That is my plan. But right now, I was just using the Airbnb recommended pricing. And my strategy has been, as I approach the next week, if I have unbooked days, I drop the price down to $100 a night because I want to make sure that I get those days booked out. If the property isn't booked, it's not making me any money. So you can see right here all of the different bookings that I had. I had Eli, Justin, Sharanity, Taryn and Red, Ken, Haley, Matthew, Jan, and you can see how many days they stayed for. So you can really only see the pricing for the days that were unbooked. You can see $89 days that were unbooked, $95 days that were unbooked, a couple $150 days that were unbooked. And if you take a look down in the month of November, you can see that I've actually already dropped the prices for the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th of November down to $100 a night because I want to get business in. I want people to rent from me. So Airbnb allows you to set your minimum nightly rate and your maximum nightly price. The recommended minimum nightly rate by Airbnb was like $89 a night, but I said preset it at $150 and I will manually change it to less than $150 myself as I get closer. If I've got 3, 4, 5 weeks out, I want to give those dates time for people to book them in advance at the higher price. If they haven't been booked in advance at the higher price, then as we get closer to it, I'll actually drop the prices and see if I can get some business in there. And as far as setting a maximum nightly price, it recommended it. I didn't think there was much of a chance people were going to pay more than $383 a night. So I just let Airbnb determine what that maximum nightly price was going to be. Now there are a couple of discounts. If somebody books 7 nights or more, they automatically qualify for a 10% discount. And if they book an entire month with me, 28 nights or more, they get 20% off the total price. Guys, I really hope that this deep dive into my Airbnb experience is beneficial for you. As always, I try to be the most transparent and honest, open real estate investing guy that there is on YouTube. I share all my numbers with you, whether it's a out-of-state remodel BRRRR project or my house hack Airbnb conversion. I've shared 100% of the information with you, the startup costs, how much I'm making, what my break even is. Hopefully this information benefits you if you're considering doing an Airbnb, or maybe just kept you entertained if you wanted to hang out with me. Either way, it would mean the world to me if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. I do try to get my message out to more people, and the only way that's going to happen is if you help me along the way. So please, guys, if you wouldn't mind for me, like the video, leave a comment down below if you're doing Airbnb. Maybe you have some idea of what good statistics are like for the conversion rate or nightly pricing. Tell me down below what you're doing different, what I got wrong. And as always, guys, appreciate you for watching. I'll catch you next time.